Now this is how you're going to see input-outputs in a word problem. Okay, you're more than likely going to be given some kind of table, and this is probably how your answer choices are going to be given to you. Now I'm going to model 2 questions for you on how I want you to think about how to solve these, because at the end your quiz is going to go over questions like these. Okay, so you're going to need to listen closely on how I solve these so that you can be successful on your quiz at the very end. Like with any word problem, the first thing I'm going to do is just read the problem. The table below shows a relationship between the input numbers and the output numbers generated by a number machine. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this input-output table looks a little bit different from this input-output table. The only difference between these 2 tables is this table gives me a space for my rule. This table does not. Imagine in this table, your rule is going to go somewhere in between those 2 numbers. Okay? Which number machine shows the same relationship as the one shown in the table? So the best way I could go about solving this is I could just guess and check each rule that it gives me to see if it's correct. So I'm going to try the A option first. If I input 1 and my rule is add 1, does 1 plus 1 equal 79? No. So A is not my answer. Now I can try with B. Times 79. Is 1 times 79, 79? Yes. So let's try it again. 2 times 79. Is 2 times 79 80? If we're not sure, let's do our work off to the side. 79 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 times 7 is 14, plus the 1 is 15. 2 times 79 is 158. I'm looking for 80. So now I can cross off B, because B does not work. Now I'm going to try C. What happens if I add 78? Is 1 plus 78 79? The answer is yes. So now I can try the second one. 2 plus 78 equals 80. So it works for that one. 3 plus 78 equals 81. Works for that one. 4 plus 78 equals 82. Works for that one. So right now, plus 78 is looking like the rule that might fit this table. So I'm going to put a P next to it. That's a possibility. But just to double check, I want to make sure that D does not work. My D rule says to times by 78. Now I'm not going to go into putting times 78 into the table, because what I learned the last time was when I did my times 79, the answer I got over here was 158, which was way more than what I was looking for. So I know if I'm going to times by 78, my answer is going to be way more than what I'm looking for, and I can cross that out. Which means my final answer is going to be C. We're going to do one more. Bree's mother started giving her an allowance of $15 every week. Bree saved all the allowance as shown in the table below. Okay, so it's giving me an input-output table. I'm noticing that they left some options blank, which means I'm probably going to have to fill that in. So I might have to be determining a rule and some other output numbers. Which list shows the total amount of money Bree had saved at the end of weeks 4, 5, and 6? Okay. If I look back at my question, I can highlight some information that it already gives me so I don't have to figure out a rule. It tells me that she earns $15 every week. That means at the end of week 2, if I multiply 2 times 15, she's going to get $30. Okay, so I can check that again with 3. 3 times 15, if I'm not sure, I can do my work off to the side. It's 45. So I know that times 15 is my rule. So now all I have to do is figure out what's 4 times 15. I know 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4, plus the 2, 60. So I'm going to look at my answer choices and see, do I have an option where 60 is an option for week 4? I noticed that A has an option for 50, so I'm going to cross that out. I'm looking for 60. B has an option for 60, so I'm going to leave that one there. C does not, and D does have an option of 60. So now I need to check to see what week 5 is going to be. If I continue with my rule, because the rule stays the same, 15 times 5, 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 2 is 7. So I'm looking for 75. If I look close at my answer choices, D goes to 70, which is not what I'm looking for, so I can cross it off. B does have my 75, but I want to double check to make sure I did not make a mistake, so I'm going to go ahead and check that my last number is 90, which means I'm going to do 15 times 6. I know 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 3 is 9. Since I got 90 for my last answer choice, I can feel pretty confident that my answer is B. So hopefully this helped you out with input-output. Just remember that your rule has to stay the same the whole way down, and all you have to do is put your input in, follow the rule to get your output.